Sean Murray versus Timothy McGee. 5 major differences you never noticed at first glance. It's easy to blur the line between actor and character, especially when someone plays a role for as long as Sean Murray has portrayed Timothy McGee on NCIS. Over the years, McGee has grown from a nervous, awkward rookie into a confident senior agent, and Murray's performance has been so natural that fans often assume the two are nearly identical. But look closer, and the differences between Sean Murray and Timothy McGee are not only fascinating, they actually reveal why the character feels so real. Here are 5 major differences you probably never noticed. 1. Confidence. Quiet strength versus learned courage. Timothy McGee didn't start out as a confident man. When he first appeared, he was hesitant, unsure of himself, and constantly seeking approval, especially from Gibbs. His journey has been one of growth, built on mistakes, field experience, and personal loss. Sean Murray, on the other hand, projects a very different kind of confidence off-screen. While Murray is naturally reserved, his confidence comes from experience in the industry rather than self-doubt. He didn't need to grow into his career the way McGee had to grow into being an agent. Murray was already comfortable in front of the camera long before McGee ever picked up his first badge. The contrast is subtle. McGee's confidence is earned through struggle. Murray's confidence is grounded in stability. 2. Tech skills. Fictional genius versus practical reality. McGee is often portrayed as a tech wizard, someone who can hack into systems, trace digital footprints, and solve cybercrimes in minutes. He's written as a near genius in the digital world, capable of things that stretch the limits of reality. Sean Murray, not quite. While Murray understands the basics of the tech jargon he delivers, he's admitted in interviews that much of it is learned for the script rather than practiced in real life. He's not sitting at home hacking networks or writing complex code. In fact, this difference is one of the most important. McGee represents the idealized version of a cyber expert. Murray represents the actor bringing that illusion to life. It's a reminder that sometimes the most convincing experts are the ones who simply know how to act like one. 3. Personality. Introverted versus balanced. Timothy McGee has always leaned heavily toward introversion. He prefers quiet environments, intellectual conversations, and often avoids confrontation unless absolutely necessary. Even as he's grown stronger, he still carries a sense of emotional caution. Sean Murray, however, exists in a more balanced space. Yes, he has a calm and grounded personality, but he's also socially adaptable, something that comes naturally to actors. Whether he's engaging with cast members, attending events, or handling interviews, Murray demonstrates a level of ease in social situations that McGee often lacks. This creates an interesting dynamic. McGee withdraws when things get overwhelming. Murray adapts. That difference is part of why Murray can portray McGee so well. He understands the character's limits without sharing all of them. 4. Life experience. Scripted trauma versus controlled reality. Timothy McGee has lived through a staggering amount of trauma. Undercover missions, life-threatening situations, personal loss, and constant exposure to violence. His character has been shaped by danger. Sean Murray's life, while not without challenges, has been far more controlled. As an actor, Murray steps into intense situations, but he also steps out of them. He doesn't carry the same emotional weight home. The explosions, interrogations, and near-death experiences exist within a structured, fictional environment. This creates one of the biggest differences. McGee's stress is real within his world. Murray's stress is temporary and performative. And yet, Murray's ability to make that stress feel authentic is what convinces audiences that McGee's experiences are real. 5. Identity. Defined role versus personal freedom. Perhaps the most overlooked difference is identity itself. Timothy McGee is defined by his role as an NCIS agent. His choices, relationships, and even his personality are shaped by the demands of his job. His life revolves around duty, responsibility, and service. Sean Murray, however, is not limited in the same way. He has the freedom to step outside the character, explore other interests, and exist beyond a single identity. Even though he's best known for playing McGee, he is not confined to that role in his personal life. This distinction is powerful. McGee is his job. Murray plays a job. And that separation is what allows Murray to sustain the character for so many years without losing himself in it. Why these differences matter. It's tempting to think that the best performances come from actors who are just like their characters. But Sean Murray proves the opposite. The differences between him and Timothy McGee are exactly what make the performance work. Because Murray isn't McGee, he can observe him. Because he isn't limited by McGee's fears, he can portray them. Because he lives outside the character, he can bring him to life with clarity. In a way, the gap between actor and character is where the magic happens. The hidden connection, despite all these differences, There's one thing that ties Sean Murray and Timothy McGee together: authenticity. Not because they are the same, but because Murray understands the emotional truth of the character. He doesn't need to be a real agent, a real hacker, or a man shaped by constant danger. He just needs to make you believe it. And after all these years, that belief has never wavered. Final thought: the next time you watch McGee on screen, it's worth remembering that what you're seeing isn't just a character. It's a carefully crafted performance built on contrast. Sean Murray isn't Timothy McGee, and that's exactly why Timothy McGee feels so real. 6. Humor. Subtle wit versus scripted quips. Timothy McGee's humor is often awkward, nerdy, and situational. He cracks jokes that reflect his intelligence and social cautiousness, like the way he might point out a technical flaw in a criminal's plan or make a witty remark about a teammate's stubbornness. It's endearing precisely because it feels earned and sometimes a little uncomfortable, highlighting his introverted nature. Sean Murray, on the other hand, has a more natural, off-screen wit. His humor doesn't have to be constrained by plot or character limitations. He can riff, tease, or laugh freely without worrying about fitting the narrative or staying in character. This subtle difference means Murray can infuse McGee with just enough charm to make the jokes feel genuine, even when they're scripted. In essence, McGee's humor is calculated within context. Murray's humor is spontaneous and adaptive. This distinction is what makes McGee's comedic timing so unexpectedly brilliant. It feels like it comes from the character, not just the script. 7. Emotional expression. Reserved versus experienced. McGee's emotional range on NCIS has evolved dramatically. From shyly admiring his colleagues to confronting life-and-death situations, McGee often internalizes his feelings, revealing vulnerability in subtle glances or hesitations rather than overt displays. His emotions are filtered through his analytical, cautious mind. Murray, however, has learned over decades in the industry how to project emotions convincingly without actually experiencing the danger or trauma. He understands the nuances of timing, body language, and facial expressions needed to communicate McGee's inner life. This difference is key. McGee feels the weight of his emotions. Murray represents the weight convincingly. The audience doesn't see the separation, which is a testament to Murray's mastery of his craft. 8. Physicality. Scripted agility versus trained movement. Over the years, McGee has grown more physically capable. He engages in chase scenes, self-defense, and tactical operations, often portraying agility and courage that feel naturally acquired. Yet the character's movements are always in service of story, designed to maintain continuity and believability. Sean Murray's approach is different. While he's trained for stunts and understands choreography, he isn't an actual field agent. Every fight scene, every sprint, and every struggle is rehearsed and calculated for safety and camera angles. He adapts his physicality to match McGee's growth, but does so with an actor's precision rather than a soldier's instinct. In short, McGee acts out of necessity. Murray acts out of preparation. This distinction ensures that intense sequences remain safe while still feeling adrenaline-charged. 9. Personal relationships. Scripted drama versus real-life bonds. McGee's personal life is deeply intertwined with the storylines. His romance with Delilah, friendships with Abby and Gibbs, and his mentorship dynamics are all carefully scripted. The drama, tension, and growth occur within the confines of narrative needs, creating relationships that are meaningful but story-dependent. Sean Murray experiences relationships in the real world with none of those constraints. His friendships with cast members like Mark Harmon or Paulie Parrott are authentic, spontaneous, and not dictated by plot. While this off-screen camaraderie informs his on-screen chemistry, it's naturally more relaxed, showing the difference between a life created by a storyline and life lived genuinely. McGee's love is scripted and narrative-driven. Murray's love is organic and lived in. This gap highlights why McGee's most heartfelt moments feel both realistic and grounded. They are filtered through someone who understands real connection without being trapped by it. 10. Career evolution. Fictional hero versus industry professional. Finally, consider their career trajectories. Timothy McGee evolves from a green, nervous agent into a capable, respected senior NCIS investigator. His arc is dramatic, with clear milestones, personal growth, and heroic moments, a story designed to inspire and engage viewers. Sean Murray's career, while impressive, follows the unpredictable path of an actor navigating a complex industry. He chooses roles, adapts to scripts, and maintains longevity by balancing creativity with pragmatism. Unlike McGee, his progression isn't dictated by a storyline. It's shaped by real-world decisions, contracts, and opportunity. McGee advances in a linear, heroic arc. Murray advances in a dynamic, professional arc. This difference explains why McGee feels aspirational, while Murray feels relatable, a combination that keeps the character compelling for over 2 decades. Conclusion: celebrating the distinction, the enduring appeal of Timothy McGee lies not in the similarities between him and Sean Murray, but in their differences. Every subtle hesitation, awkward joke, technical explanation, or emotional glance comes to life because of the contrast between character and actor. Sean Murray doesn't need to live McGee's life. He just needs to understand it. And his ability to translate that understanding into nuanced performance is what makes McGee feel so alive. Fans often forget how challenging it is to maintain consistency in a role for decades, and the distinction between actor and character is what sustains that illusion. Next time you watch McGee navigate a high-stakes investigation, crack a nervous joke, or protect a colleague, remember this: the character's brilliance is amplified by the actor's perspective. The lines between who McGee is and who Sean Murray is may blur on screen, but the differences are what make the portrayal unforgettable. McGee and Murray are not the same, but together, they've created a character who feels timeless.